Tank Dell's back. Tank Dell is back. Puka Nacua is injured again with a knee injury. We're going to break that down. We talked about it on the earlier show. Garrett Wilson, wide receiver one. Garrett Wilson, wide receiver one. Can we keep saying that over and over and over? Breece Hall could have had a much better day, but a lot of good stuff happened. This was a Thursday night football game. A lot of bad usually happens. We got some good stuff out of this one. The fantasy football show, reaction show, Thursday night football reaction show. The Puka Nacua injury update show. That begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Ladies and gentlemen, we had a Tank Dell reemergence, and you know I'm hitting the button. You know I'm doing it. Stroud looked like trash a lot of the game. We'll talk about that in a minute, how worried we are about CJ Stroud right now, because under pressure, this man folds more than AR5. And we got Puka Nacua. We'll get to that in a second, but let's go ahead and be thankful of Tank Dell right now. All the Tank Dell haters out there, Tank is back, baby. 100. One Tank Dell special, please.
Coming right up.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm thankful. I don't know about you. I'm thankful. Tank Dell had a day. Let's go over the stats real quick before we go over Puka Nacua's injury. Just off the top of the show here, want to say that just to ease the minds of those, those minds that are running wild right now. Puka Nacua, the knee injury seems to be not super severe right now, according to McVay. He left practice with the knee injury. We'll go over it in a second and talk about how risky he is going forward and just talking about his style of play. But let's go over the stats real quick from tonight's game. CJ Stroud was in some ways pathetic, like all night long. When he's pressured, he's awful. And I know he doesn't have his boy Nico Collins, but he still has had, Diggs until Diggs suffered the ACL injury last week. Tank Dell, Joe Mixon's playing at a top 1 to 4 running back type of production level. How are you making excuses for Stroud? You can't. 11 of 30, 191, 0 TDs, 0 INTs. Tank was wide open in the end zone. Tank was wide open a couple times. Joe Mixon, 24 totes, 106, 4.4 a pop, 1 touchdown. They need to throw to Mixon, too. They don't throw to him. Tank Dell, 6 receptions for 126. Could have easily had a 150 in a touch game. This was easily one of those 150 in a touch type of games. Breece Hall, look, 4.9 a carry. He did his job. He looked great every time he ran the ball. They gave him 15 carries, 74 yards. Devontae Adams, 7 for 91 in a touch. Left with a head injury. Came back in, scored a touchdown. Garrett Wilson, 9 catches for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. This was an absolute scoring extravaganza. Aaron Rodgers, top right corner, 211 and 3 tutties, 0 INTs. He looked pretty mid in the first half and came back on a tear in the second half. Honestly, we need to hit the Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers button, even though I need to redo this video so that Adams is involved. Come on, man. Pick up.
Please leave your message after the tone.
Hey man, it's Devontae Adams again. Call me back, bro.
In your eyes, the light that hit your eyes, complete your life.
Your eyes.
Garrett Wilson and the boys.
Your eyes.
Rodgers has new toys.
Your eyes.
The lights, the heat.
Your
A
eyes.
Jets fan complete.
Your eyes.
You don't want to test Sauce Gardner's heat.
Your eyes.
I want to watch Breece Hall
Jets country, let's ride.
Some good and bad, some ugly, some great. Thursday night, what does Thursday night do other than that for us anyway? Landed 2 out of the 3. You know what? And this is my fault. If I would have just kept this, if Ron Navy would have never showed me these arrows, I upped this to 79.5. Hopefully, anybody that took my advice and went higher on both of these, or on all 3 of these, if you didn't mess with the numbers and you left it at the 69, I believe Breece had, you would have smashed all 3 of them. So, depending on if you messed with the number like I did to increase the multiplier. But 0.5 touchdown, smash. Breece Hall, 69.5, which was his original higher, smash. He barely missed on this magnifying it up. Tank Dell, 61.5, had 126, smash. So that was a pretty good night overall for the hires. Puka Nacua, for those that are wondering what in the hell is going on with what we're talking about earlier today and right now, Puka Nacua left practice with a knee injury. They're calling it minor. McVay's saying that it's minor. We don't really know. This could be one of those things that spirals out of control, or it could be a nothing burger and he's just resting. We'll find out. The one thing you got to know about Puka Nacua is he's probably going to always be one of the most injury-prone wide receivers at the level of play he's playing at, in the top, 15 overall, top 20 overall players. He'll always be one of the most injury-prone players inside that bucket of player, because this guy he lays out for everything. He jumps on his arms. He dives for footballs that other people would not dive for. He lands on his elbows and wrists and hands constantly. He puts himself in awkward positions. He tries to get extra yards that a lot of other receivers might not try and get, hanging himself up with one tackler and then another coming by and leveling him and taking out a knee. There's always going to be opportunity for this guy to get injured, but that doesn't mean we don't absolutely love him. Puka Nacua to the moon. First of all, Garrett Wilson, 2 tutties, unbelievable touchdown. Did anybody catch this touchdown grab that Garrett Wilson snagged in? I have it right here. Looks like Air Jordan. Looks like Air Jordan snagging that. Look at this comparison. It was unbelievable. Garrett Wilson is a wide receiver 1. And as we said before this game kicked off, there's that little effect that we're seeing in Buffalo where Amari Cooper's mere presence, the presence of another wide receiver, allowing Coleman to become the player he needs to be. The NFL no longer necessarily needs somebody to be in the 1 spot for the wide receiver position. You can roll in the flex. Cooper Kupp is the absolute or the slot. Cooper Kupp is the definition of the best wide receiver on the team, playing what isn't traditionally supposed to be the number 1 wide receiver role. The slot wide receiver is oftentimes off the field right when there's 2 wide receiver sets. That's not the case for Cooper Kupp. He moves around all over the field, but he's a lot of times in the slot. This thing happens with CeeDee Lamb as well. CeeDee Lamb is the number 1 wide receiver on the Dallas Cowboys. We all know that. Get Lamb'd, right?
Get lamb.
But he plays in the slot. He dominates. And I'm not necessarily talking slot here versus anything else, but other than just like Keon Coleman can thrive even if he's not supposed to be the number 1 wide receiver, he can become the number 1 wide receiver. Just because Adams is Aaron Rodgers' golden boy and they have a rapport like no other in the NFL doesn't mean Garrett Wilson doesn't find ways to get open. And this has been amazing for him so far. Does it continue? Hard to say, but I think it's scarier to bet against it than to bet on it happening and continuing to happen. But the same thing with Keon Coleman over there in Buffalo. Is Amari Cooper the better overall talent right now at their 2 points in their career? Maybe physically he is, but Coleman's in the right spot to be the number 1 on the Buffalo Bills as he matures and develops. Garrett Wilson is going to be a benefactor of what Adams brings to the table in terms of defensive attention and coverage. And let's not act like Adams didn't have a good day as well. Adams was phenomenal. He leads the box score. Where's my damn box score? There it is. He leads the box score in yardage. If I could get this thing to respond. Adams leads the top of the box score with the 91 yards over the Garrett Wilson's 90, but Garrett obviously has 2 more catches and 2 touchdowns. Adams at 11 targets versus Garrett Wilson's 10. So you could see that Garrett's definitely taking massive advantage of the defensive attention piece that we're describing, but it also isn't going to be this great and glorious every single week. because Aaron Rodgers and the Jets can putter out in a half, have a really, really bad game script. Things can go awry. Aaron Rodgers might not be on his game. They need to feed Breece Hall more to balance out the attack. But right now it was a pretty good outing, pretty good result end of day. But that was a lot to go over in a short period of time. 10-minute intro. I think we covered everything. Really wish Breece would have got more touches, though. That's the part that's probably the biggest downer of tonight's outing, was that we look at this Breece Hall game log. Especially you look at the receiving numbers. Like, I would have expected, if you're going to stop running him, in this game, you start throwing him the ball. So Breece having 2 for 11, I expect this to be 4 for 70 or 5 for 65 yards and a touchdown. That's where Breece Hall can spring back and have an amazing response to a game that maybe eliminates the rush. But this is still a great buy low opportunity for Breece Hall. I don't think this scares me at all, the way that he was used in this game. He had 4.9 yards per carry. I don't think it worries me into a place where I'm trying to get rid of him. I think I'm still saying to myself, he's a damn good buy low walking into the remaining part of the season. So week 9 buys, he stays on here walking into week 10. He stays on here midweek. Maybe you make a trade during the games that can't fully execute until week number 10, but you're able to pull it off now because Breece Hall's performance maybe scares somebody into making a trade tonight, tomorrow, before Sunday games kick off. I certainly explore that and use the emotional reaction somebody might have to the Breece Hall performance and say, I don't think he's going to be good. I don't think he's going to be good. But I will say this. Our boy Tank Dell played good today. Ha ha!
One Tank Dell special, please.
Coming right up.
Thank you.
Yes.
I just wish we could press the Stroudosphere button, but Stroud looks like trash. And I guess that's the next piece of the conversation we need to have before we go on to super chats and phone calls and everything else. Just say that when he's pressured, he looks like one of the worst quarterbacks in the National Football League right now. I'm not trying to mince words or exaggerate or embellish what we're talking about here, but this guy looks rattled. He looks like a quarterback that no one had film on last year, as he did what he did. And, they had film, but they didn't have film on him like they did walking into this year. And then we're seeing his kryptonite, which is when he doesn't have Nico Collins, he kind of doesn't know how to navigate and go through his reads and read the defense and figure out how to find the best point of attack of a defense. Because Tank Dell's like wide open in the end zone. You got a lot of different other players that were wide open at different points in this game where Stroud didn't know how to cycle around the field. And his vision is not what I thought it was walking into this season. Stroud had the upside coming out of last year's rookie season, where we thought this guy was going to come in scanning the field like a 4-year veteran. He's looked very, very different. And I'm not saying he can't bounce back, but this guy, I don't recognize this guy. I don't recognize who this player is. It doesn't look like the same player at all. I'm kind of confused. I kind of feel like my eyes tricked me last year because he doesn't look like the same player. This is the same player that went up to Caleb Williams and tried to give him advice when, honestly, and I'm not even a huge Caleb Williams fan at all. You guys know that. Maybe Caleb needs to give him advice. I don't know what's going on with him. I do know that he's still connecting with Tank Dell, which is great. Tank Dell is his safety blanket right now. I think Nico returning will actually be, in some ways, like we're seeing with Garrett Wilson, responding to having Adams be the guy that draws defensive attention. You got Amari Cooper helping out Keon Coleman get open. I think we'll see a lot of that happen with the return of Nico. I don't think Dell vanishes. I think we saw a quarterback tonight that didn't throw a single touchdown pass. How is Nico coming back in a hurt? It's only going to help. It's only going to help. And right now, I don't know what to think. I just don't. Stroud, go get me a coffee. And anybody that's going to say, I don't know how this is going to go, box score Bobby.
All right, prepare for take one. All right, action.
He's a box score Bobby. He's a little sloppy. Box score Bobby. He's a box score Bobby. He's very sloppy. Bobby.
All right, so let's get to these super chats and then let's open up the phone lines and have a day, shall we? This one here from Drop says Dell, Rashad White, Mahomes, Benson for Chubb, Bowers. Dell, Rashad White, Mahomes, Benson for Chubb and Bowers. Is this a redraft? Hell no, I'm doing this. I'm not doing this. Hell no. All bench guys for me except for Dell. Doesn't matter. Like, as much as I like Bowers, bro, I mean... this is a lot of talent to just give away. I'd figure something else. Could also do White, Mahomes, Benson for Chubb and Otten. I think you're just way overpaying to get this tight. You should be able to give like half of that to get the tight end that we're talking about. That's just way too much of an overpay. You're giving somebody an entire team. You're giving somebody an entire starting lineup practically. Tank Dell is open on Thursdays. Yeah, the deli's open. The Tank Deli is open on Thursdays. That's true. Tank Deli's open. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Absolutely. TP, appreciate you. Amon-Ra St. Brown Cup for Tyreek, Kenneth Walker, and McLaurin. Amon-Ra Cup for Tyreek, Kenneth Walker, and McLaurin. Jeez. I would take the three players. As much as I want to say Amon-Ra Cup, I want to say Tyreek, Kenneth Walker, and McLaurin. If you need it. If you don't need it, TP, if, like, let's say on the Amon-Ra Cup side, if you've got a Tank Dell or somebody you're throwing in that we like, then you don't need to do this trade. But if you need three players, if you need a change-up, I would do it. I would do it. G, I appreciate you. I got something in my eyes. I cannot see right now. Oh, my God. I rubbed something into my eye, in both of my eyes, and I can't, like, my eyes are burning. Got an offer for my Amon-Ra St. Brown Barkley for his cup. Everything's blurry. And Kyron, and second 2025 pick in Dynasty. Okay, so this is Dynasty. So got an offer for my Amon-Ra Barkley for his cup and Kyron and a second rounder. Look, Barkley and Cup both are older players. Amon-Ra, Kyron, younger players. I'm tempted to say give me the Cup, Kyron, and second pick, but Amon-Ra's gonna... I don't know, Amon-Ra's an injury-prone guy. What do you guys think on this one? Would you rather have... yeah, no, I did have some... You know, it's funny you say rub some jalapeno. I had a little bit of guacamole, and I was eating my burger real quickly, and I rubbed my eyes, and I think I did put something in it. They're burning. I can't see. I gotta do a show, and my nose is running. My nose is running. My eyes are watering. Are we doing the? God. Oh. Jesus. What a way to start a live stream. I can't see. Here. Let's can you guys let's have the computer read this one. And can you vote on this one for me? Smitty needs your help. Dynasty, would you rather have the receiver and Amon-Ra, or are we going with the Breece Hall, or the Kyron?
$4.99 from GWA. Got an offer for my ARSB and Barkley for his Cup and Kyron and a second 2025 pick in Dynasty. Do I take? If not, who else can I get for ARSB and Bart?
I don't know. I don't know who else you can get. I need to know what the person has. I think I'm rubbing it back in, but I have to rub my eyes because I can't take it. It's like burning. Oh, I can't see. Smitty now has impaired vision. What are we doing? Are we taking the Cup Kyron side? Take a break. No thanks. I'm on Raw Barkley. Smitty, go wash your face. It's burning so bad. It's burning so bad. I'm going to take the Kyron side. You know what's hurting is the light. Thank God the sunglasses, they help, but like it's the light. The light is also hurting him. Can I get through this? I don't know if I'm going to get through this. Who to start in the flex? MHJ, Hunt, MHJ, Cup, Tracy Jr. You got MHJ twice. Who to start in the flex? MHJ, Hunt, MHJ, Cup, Tracy Jr. I'm going to go MHJ. Or no, Cup. Who to start in the flex? Cup, then MHJ in that order if you need two players. Tracy would be third. Thank you, my guy. One of Pittman, Adunze, Keenan Allen, or Leggett. Give me Pittman with AR5 now out. Smitty, all the love, but take a lap for overreacting to Adams' impacted Garrett Wilson value. Best game of the year PPR. Okay, Sam. Puka plus Breece for Kyron plus Worthy. Puka, I mean, before the game, Sam, I literally told you that I thought this thing could go well for Garrett Wilson. Like, we covered it 10 different ways, Sam. I mean, what are you talking about? Puka plus Breece for Kyron plus Worthy. Give me Puka and Breece Hall. Even with what we just saw. The fact that Puka, and I know Puka's injured right now, you're taking a little gamble. But I think I'm going to lean Breece and Puka. But, guys, would you go Kyron and Worthy? I mean, maybe... I don't know. I don't know that we're gonna react at all on this Breece Hall game. It's a good game. 4.9 yards per carry just wasn't used enough, which might be the problem that you're thinking, right? But I think you got to say to yourself, bro, Puka's in the realm of not maybe as valuable as Kyron, but he's close to Kyron. Like, he really is. And don't let the injury scare you too much because it's reportedly not a serious injury. So you got to take the Breece side. Even if you want to compare Puka and Kyron and then Breece and Worthy, and then you'll say to yourself, okay, yeah, that does kind of blow it out of the water. 7-1, Jalen Hurts, Gibbs, Breece Hall, Monty, Waddle, McLaurin, Bowers, benches, weak, Keon, Braylon Allen. Should I make a trade? Gibbs and Hall, Jalen, Monty, it's very, very solid. I think you could use a wide receiver. I'm trying to trade Monty for Hill. I'm trying to trade Monty for Jamar Chase or JJ by maybe giving up something. So Monty and Waddle, Monty McLaurin. I would consider a big baller move like that, but I would definitely give up one player for Hill. And McLaurin for Hill might even get it done. And you might say, I don't want to do that. That's fine if you don't. I would take the chance on that. I think getting a big wide receiver in that mix is going to be the trick for you. But don't trade the other running backs. It would be Monty if you're going to trade it, or McLaurin alone. Let's go. Started Wilson over Olave, and Smash Rogers is washed. Though, LOL. I don't know if Rodgers is washed. He just had a 3-touchdown game. But congrats on the move. Garrett Wilson was a great play. Darnold, Dak, Stafford, Herbert this week. I'm going to go with Stafford. He's got his 2 wide receivers back. Let's go. Should I trade Amon-Ra for Tyreek? Probably not. I'd keep Amon-Ra. I like Tyreek. I buy him low, but Amon-Ra. Have more London, Thomas Jr., Ridley, Olave, Downs on waivers. I don't think you can drop any. You could drop Ridley for Downs if you really believe in Downs, but Ridley just had a big game. So I'd probably say you don't have a move to make. Maybe a trade opens up a spot for you, but I don't think you you're kind of pick your poison on Downs versus Ridley. I like Downs a little more than Ridley long term though. I do. So I would probably do that. Amon-Ra Cup for Hill, Kenneth Walker, McLaurin. Isn't this the one you just asked? Have Kyron, Monty. I've tried to trade Pearsall, Kittle for Hill. Would you get Hawkinson? I mean, I don't mind getting Hawkinson at all, but would I trade Amon-Ra Cup for Hill, Kenneth Walker, McLaurin? I go back and forth on this. I think this is the same one you asked. If not, it's very similar. But I mean, look, like I said earlier to this question, or to one very much like it, if you need a change, then get the 3 players. If you don't need a change and you're winning, Amon-Ra Cup is just better. It's doing well. You know, the bye weeks out of the way. Man, my eyes are running. My nose is running. What did I do? I think I rubbed the guacamole in my eye or something. In both eyes. I don't know what I did. I must have had it on my hands. I was trying to eat really quickly before I hit the live button. But TP, that's my answer. I don't know that it would change unless unless you told me, hey, look, I'm awesome. I got Tank Dell in the Amon-Ra team side to throw in, so I'm good. Or I got a player that I don't necessarily need the McLaurin piece. The McLaurin piece is nice. It's a big additive if you need it, but if not, then I don't think I make that trade. Which, for a QB, Love, Stafford, Geno, I'm going to go Love this week, assuming he plays, and it does seem like he's going to now. Just picked up Josh Downs. Don't mind that at all. Don't mind me if I do grab Josh Downs. Any chance I get. I like Josh Downs a lot. I like him a lot right now, especially given that they're going to have a better passing attack without AR5 in there. 12-man, 3 flex league potential moves. Hurts, Breece, Gibbs, JT, Debo, Tyreek, Devontae Smith. This is a great team. McBride, love it. I'd be tempted to move like Devontae Smith and Tillman and like Chase Brown, Bigsby for a player. I'd be tempted to, but past that, bro, this is such a nice looking squad. I don't think I'm moving too much with this squad. Mute yourself if you could, Elijah, please. This is a good team. Like, this is a good team. The only thing, the running stable's amazing. The only thing you can maybe upgrade is maybe use Chase Brown and Devontae Smith, or Tillman, Devontae Smith, and Chase Brown to just get that slightly better wide receiver. I'm thinking maybe someone like Nico injured right now, although, you know, he's now one step closer to coming back, and I don't think or a final step closer to coming back, so I don't know that he's going to be cheap. You got Debo, Tyreek. Those are kind of 2 of my best buy low wide receivers anyway. Maybe Neighbors. Maybe, I mean, unfortunately, you've got all the buy lows pretty much that I would suggest in this situation. I think sometimes we try and get rid of too much of our depth. The depth might save you. Your lineup looks fantastic. You don't even need to, unless you can upgrade Devontae Smith using Chase Brown and Tillman. There's not much for me to do. Would DK be enough? Probably would be something I'd consider. I really like DK. Trade my Chase Brown, Schultz for J-Mo, Coleman, and Taysom Hill. Sure, I'm fine with that. I don't think it's a trade that's going to win a league, but I think overall I like the Coleman side value better. $10 hauler, would you make any trades 6-2, first in the league? I mean, you're obviously doing the right things right off the bat, right? Monty, Kyron, Connor. Wheel Snipe City dropping 5 gifted memberships. Thank him if you get one. Kyler, Monty, Kyron, Connor, Quorum, Benson, Brooks, Evans, Amon-Ra, Debo, Ladd. Very good team. Not unless I could upgrade Monty and Ladd into, I mean, bro, Breece Hall. You could say no, but I'm doing it. I'm not scared of Breece Hall. This game did nothing to scare me away from Breece Hall. Elijah, you're live.
Hey, Smitty. So I'm in a 2 quarterback, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 2 flex league, and I just made a ballsy trade. I want to know what you think.
All right.
Half PPR.
Go ahead.
So I traded Puka and Geno Smith for Kyler and Pacheco. What do you think?
Puka and Geno for Kyler Pacheco. I think it depends. Who's your quarterback? Is it going to be Geno now? Or Kyler? So you had Jordan Love. Why would you go get Kyler if you already have Jordan? I want Jordan Love and Puka in my lineup, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that I would have done that.
I have Chris Olave, Worthy. And
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That's an excuse. That's an excuse. You're trying to explain why you made a bad trade. I'm not saying it's a horrible trade. I'm just saying it's not a good trade to downgrade your wide receiver when you're not necessarily even upgrading your quarterback. And Jordan Love's trending toward playing, so what you have doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
But
the main reason why I did it was because of the half PPR, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, so you got Kyler and what back again? Is Kyler in
Pacheco.
Yeah, I look, who are your RBs?
Jordan Mason, Christian McCaffrey, and Javonte and Tank Bigsby right now. Javonte Williams.
Yeah, I mean, this is nice to have the RB. I'm not gonna lie, but I think what I would have done if I was you is I wouldn't have gone after a quarterback. I would have used everything about that trade to get me one RB, but instead you went and got a quarterback upgrade that you didn't need, that diluted the return on the other position that you were getting back in Pacheco. It diluted it down to this. You got to look at it like a scale, bro. You're going to put stuff on a scale. He's going to put stuff on a scale. Once it's relatively even, you both agree it's even, you swap. You're putting a heavy Kyler Murray down when you don't need to. You could have gotten a Breece Hall potentially. You could have traded Puka Nacua. If you needed an RB, you could have traded Puka Nacua tonight for Breece Hall. Even on the injury news, because Breece Hall just had a bad game. I'm not saying I don't like Pacheco, but we don't know exactly. We're still waiting on when he's coming back. It could be another week. It could be another 2 weeks. We don't fully know. So I don't know that I would have made that trade. Puka's too valuable, bro. I think you took a big step back in your lineup. We'll just see what happens when Pacheco comes back. I do like Pacheco. He could earn his keep once he's on the field. I do agree.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm desperate. 3-5, 14-team league.
Well, I mean, Puka's bye weeks out of the way. I would have rode that before I go after a player that's not playing for 2 weeks, maybe, or 1 week, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've got now a Kyler and Love dilemma, and if Love's playing and it looks like he is, who are you starting? You're probably not even sure, right? You don't know which one you're going to start yet, and now you have.
Well, it's 2 QBs though. I got to start both of them. That's the thing.
Oh, it's Superflex? Did you say that?
Yeah, it's Superflex. Yeah.
Okay,
QBs.
I didn't hear you say Superflex. Okay.
Does that change things? Sorry.
Well, yeah. I don't know if you said that.
Yeah, I didn't like Geno on the 2 QB side of things, so I thought the rushing up.
Okay, then yeah, I like that a lot more now. A lot more. That's critical information.
Yeah, and it's 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 2 flex. So it's really, I've never been in a league like this, but I don't think
everyone's saying you didn't say it was super flex, bro. It's like telling the doctor, hey doc, I got a pain in my leg, and I'm like, you should have come to me earlier, whatever, and then you tell me, like, it's not even your leg.
I think I said 2 quarterback. I should have said super flex, but I said 2 quarterback.
I don't think you did, but maybe you did. I don't know. Okay, if you did, my fault. I'll take a lap. Anyway.
So does that help?
It does help a lot. It does help a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
right.
that makes me feel better. Thanks, man.
All right, that's a lot better. It's a whole different ball game. All right, bro. Appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, man.
Later. Maybe he did say it. Sometimes you guys hear the audio, and when it cuts in, it's like choppy in the beginning. But if he said he had 2, I don't know if he was saying it was a. First of all, 2 QB is different than Superflex. 2 QB is traditionally mandatory 2 QBs. So even if he said 2 QB, but a Superflex is still Superflex means you only have to start 1, but you can start 2. Someone said that he said 2 QB. Okay, I'll take that. I couldn't hear him fully in the beginning of the call. Again, sometimes it's like even with my soundboard, like when I hit this right here,
Breece.
Sometimes like that will play for you guys fully. That might not have been. It might have been choppy and just like skipped. And most of the time for me, it always doesn't play fully smoothly. I don't know. It's weird. Okay, so let's get to these other super chats and see if we can hammer these out. Davante Adams, Mahomes hunt for Pacheco Purdy. Davante Adams, Mahomes hunt for Pacheco Purdy. Give me the Mahomes side all day long. Tyler wants to be negative because Tyler doesn't own Tank Dell, so he has to come in and try and crap on Tank Dell. Tank Dell is not back. There was no one else to throw to. Wait till Nico comes back. I'm negative.
Get lamb.
Wrong.
Go get me a coffee, Tyler. I swear. You could always tell somebody that's real upset about how things didn't play out for him. I think you might have missed my super chat. It says gaming. You didn't super chat. This is the only one you've sent right here. It's this one right here. Let me just go and scroll back to the beginning. Yeah, I don't see another one, bro. All right, if you have another one, let me know, bro. But you're the only one you sent. The other one didn't go through, I don't think. Traded JD5 for McBride and Kenneth Walker. JD5 for McBride and Kenneth Walker. I mean, I need more information here. I don't know if this is a super flex. If it's a super flex, it's a completely different question. If it's a non-super flex, you got to take McBride and Walker and run. Although, you know, your quarterback situation matters, but at the end of the day, I'm making another trade to get a quarterback if that's a 1 QB situation, even if I don't have a single quarterback after that. 10-man PPR, 4 and 4, 2 flexes, Allen, K9, Jacobs, London, Tyreek, Bowers, Pollard, Downs, Flowers, Ladd. I have wide receiver depth, 2-for-1 moves. I would say with this one, Josh Allen, you got good RBs, but would I rather you trade Pollard and Flowers, or Ladd and Flowers, Ladd or Flowers, one of them with, let's say, K9 or Jacobs to get into Breece Hall right now? I would. Would I trade Pollard and Ladd for I guess you could give away. I mean, I'd do Flowers for Pacheco potentially. I really would in this situation, but I'd be more interested in getting Breece Hall, bro. Jacobs and Ladd for Breece and something. That's what I'm going to tell you, Jackson. I think that's a doable thing right now. The Breece owner is probably in panic mode. And should they be a little bit? I suppose, but the risk is baked in now. So whatever it is, doesn't matter. What's up, Vampy? Vampy in the building. Appreciate you. Oh, why am I touching my eye again? My eyes just started to cool down. I gotta turn this fan off too. It's definitely not helping. I think Stroud needs to get out of the pocket more. I don't know. I'll be honest, Gilbert. When he was out of the pocket, he was garbage. When he's out of the pocket, he can't do two things at once. And he can't read defenses right now, it seems. And when he was out of the pocket, he didn't see wide open players because he's got tunnel vision when he's running around. As soon as the pocket collapsed at all on him, and he had to make a decision to roll either out of the pocket or just kind of, like, you know how Brock Purdy's like a pocket master. He's literally, Brock Purdy, as much crap as we give him on other fronts sometimes here and there. He definitely navigates that space and just bounces around with the ball in the pocket like really no other quarterback. He's super good at it. Stroud, as soon as he feels pressure at all, he completely tunnel vision, doesn't see what's going on out there, and then gets sacked, throws a dart ball. I don't know what I'm looking at when I watch Stroud play right now. It's not even the same player at all that I remember last year. It doesn't even look like the same player. He looks awful. His confidence is shot. almost laughable that this guy's been giving advice to people. Other quarterbacks like Caleb, he's giving him advice. What kind of advice could he give him right now? I'm 6-2. Rate my team. Any moves? Hurts, Gibbs, Kyron, Bigsby, Tracy, Lamb, Puka, Debo. Love the receiving room. Lamb, Puka, Debo. I don't touch that. Dell, Keon, McBride. I love McBride. I don't know. I didn't see the other Superman. If it went through or something, and there was a glitch, I apologize. But I don't have access to it, so it looks like it didn't go through. I'm 6-2. You're 6-2 for a reason. You're doing good things. If this is me, bro, I'm not touching it. Unless I could trade Dell, who I don't even necessarily want to trade because I love the depth that it gives you. But if you could trade Dell or Keon with Tracy or Bigsby, probably Tracy, for just some sort of sleeper player, Like if you could get a Tyreek in that Tracy and Dell trade. If you could get maybe I doubt you'll get a Breece Hall, but like you stumble into something wild like that. That's the only thing I'm even considering. So Tracy and Dell for, I guess, Walker. But one could argue Tracy's looking so good, maybe you just hold off. What about Neighbors? Tracy and Dell for Neighbors. What about Nico? What about... That's about it, bro. I mean, your team's so good, I think I just sit on it unless I get one of those things done. And this one here is from Swavey. Appreciate you. 10-man, 6-2. Hurts, Kyron, JT, Amon-Ra, DK, Kincaid, Achan, Bench, McLaurin, Worthy. Moves to make. I'm going to say... I'm going to say, bro, with this team, Kyron... I like this team. If I'm moving McLaurin, I don't think I'm moving McLaurin. I like JT the way he's playing right now. You could look at a McLaurin and JT for Breece Hall and something, but I would want something back because the fair market value would command it. Would I do McLaurin and DK for a Lamb, JJ, or Jamar Chase? Yes. Past that, this team is fine. You're 6-2, which also tells me you're doing the right things, right? Okay, I need to turn the fan on. It's getting hot up in here. $2 hauler, 2 flex. Someone dropped Dobbs. Pick him up. It depends, man. Like, who you dropping, Thomas? Like, that's a loaded question. I don't know. I don't know that I could just tell you, like, blanket statement. Yeah, pick up Dobbs. I'd have to know who is available, my broski. Who is it that you could, who you'd have to drop? Jeez, man, I'm a mess. I'm a hot mess with the eyes bleeding, overheating. I don't know if the air conditioning is even pumping cold air in here right now. Traded Monty and Flowers for Jonathan Taylor and Dell. I would take Jonathan Taylor and Dell. I think you smashed that trade. Thomas, I'm going to say in general, Dobbs is a decent pickup, but I don't know who you're dropping. So let me know on that one. Tank outside the top 25. What's that mean? What do you mean by that? Like Tank is outside the top 25 right now because of the slow start? What are you going to do? Is he a fantastic wide receiver 3 going forward? Absolutely. Is Tank capable of being a wide receiver 2 in fantasy? Yes. Would I count on it? Not necessarily. Do I need to count on it? No. I could trade for him at a much lower price tag. Need a flex in 2 leagues. BT if active. Stevenson, Downs, Ladd, Waddle, Dobbins, Mooney, or Tracy. In the second question, I would go probably Tracy as long as he's playing. If not, I would go, I guess, Dobbins and Mooney. Pick your poison there. Dobbins is probably a tad safer. Mooney's got a tad more upside. As far as the first question, need a flex in 2 leagues. I'm going to take BT if active, but if not active, it's probably going to be Ladd of the rest of that crew. Thank you for the question, my guy. Slice. Smitty, I get Breece has looked good before, but this season it's time to admit he's not that guy. I don't know, still trying to buy, but his offense isn't putting him in a position to succeed. You can think what you want, bro. I mean, that's why we play the game. How many times have I been told to drop Tank Dell over and over? Smitty, it's time to admit Tank Dell's bad. Can we just admit it? Smitty, are you ready to come in and drop him? Are you ready to give up on Tank Dell, Smitty? I mean, it's the same song and dance, bro. No, the answer is no. The answer is...
Wrong. Muy mal.
Get Breece.
Get lammed.
Take a lap, take a lap. Take a lap, take a lap.
Wrong. Muy mal.
Alert. Stand down order in effect.
No, it's not time to admit. I'm not admitting nothing to you. Would you trade Cup for Hill? I'd rather have Cup right now. But once Hill gets back on his horse, this could be a question we laugh at later, or it's just one that stays very, very even. Trade away Mostert and Andrews for Tracy. If you need a RB, I don't mind that. I don't mind either side, though. So you're not getting ripped off and you're not ripping off them. It's a pretty solid trade. But I would probably say, give me Tracy on the upside. I'm honored to have been clown. Well, I didn't clown you. I just sent you on a bunch of laps and let you know. And I'm glad you feel honored. You genuinely made your evening. I'm glad I could do that for you, pal. But, I mean, no, we're not giving up on it. It's like, Smitty, it's time. Isn't it time to admit to give it? No! What are you talking about? It's only up from here for Tank. Dell, in my opinion, says rise above. I couldn't agree more. Traded Najee and Debo for Kupp and Jennings. I think you could argue both sides. Like, Najee's playing well enough that the increase from Debo to Kupp, which I believe is an increase, might not be drastic enough with Ayuk out for the season now. I could say it's pretty even Steven, and Jennings should have an uptick. I like Kupp most out of all the players, but I think Najee and Debo might win this side of the trade right now. It's close. And let's also remember Breece had 4.9 yards per carry tonight. Before we start saying anything bad about Breece Hall. Offered Dell, Bucky, Downs, and Chubb for my Debo and JK. I would rather have Debo and JK. Even though I love Tank Dell, I'm not trading Debo Samuel. My JT for Breece and Tracy. I'd rather have Breece Hall and Tracy. I have HN and Kyron. Keep in mind, we're one game away from JT being very, very low value. One game, and now he's ultra high value. If Breece Hall has 100 yards and 2 touchdowns next week, he will be a top 5 overall player to people in a snap. Like, that's how fickle the market value is. So give me Breece Hall with Tracy. And if you can't use... Like, you can't use Tracy at all. Maybe you're trying to trade Tracy. Yeah. Well, this is why I know KJV says buy low on Breece Hall. It looks like Smitty. This is why I say I have the best temperature on whether a player is a trade high or a trade low or a hold than anybody in the industry because of how much engagement I have. Look at what we've determined on this live stream alone. That Breece Hall feels like a very doubted player. The temperature I'm able to get in these kinds of conversations and interaction tell me that what I have on this board will carry over from week 9 into week 10 like nothing we've ever seen. This will be the latest you can buy a top 5 running back. Probably in the last 5 years I've seen the ability to buy significantly low on a top 5 running back in week 10 is Unbelievable. Entering week 10. So it's fantastic news. Any Breece Hall owners trade him for Garrett Wilson? I would not trade Breece Hall for Garrett Wilson. I think that anybody that says that they would do it now, they would not have done it before the game. They would not. They would not have. One game can't change or shift the entire way you look at somebody unless something specific has happened to make that explainable. Do I think Garrett Wilson has climbed in value? Yes, he has. And that's great. But we're not trading Breece Hall for Garrett Wilson. 4 and 4, 10-man, 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 flex. I got Reek for Gibbs today. I'd rather have Gibbs. I would not trade Gibbs for Tyreek Hill, Ricky. You know that. I've only promoted that for like 3-4 straight weeks, Ricky. You got Tyreek for Gibbs. Tyreek was buy low. You could have got Tyreek and a whole nother like Pacheco or another player. You can't trade Gibbs for Tyreek Hill. Traded Connor for Devontae Smith. I don't mind that. But damn, bro. I like your team, though. Your team is very good, but it had Gibbs on it, and it was better. I like Tyreek Hill, bro. I like him a lot, but I don't know what we're doing there. As far as other trades, Devontae Smith and Brooks, Devontae Smith and Tracy. Oh, man, I wouldn't have done that trade. We are buying Breece Hall low, not selling him low. Correct, Casey. Correct. Gibbs for Kyron is pretty even. I think I honestly dead even. Chat, what kind of move can he make here? Devontae Smith. I don't know. Neighbors or Nico? Devontae Smith and Tracy for Neighbors or Nico, Ricky. But I would not have done that trade. I think I've said that 5 times. I'm sorry. I don't mean to beating a dead horse on the topic, but Grippy, appreciate your $20 hauler. Roast my team. 12-man PPR, Hurts, HN, Gibbs, Kyron, Worthy, Downs, Kincaid, Jonathan Brooks. Look, I mean, your quarterback and 3 RBs are so good, there's no roasting your team, bro. Not to mention you have 2 very crafty wide receivers that, yeah, bro, you kind of look like you need to make a move, right? Why not trade Brooks and Worthy or Brooks and Downs for like a Debo, a DK? Reed would be pretty nice for you. What about Brooks for Reed? And you roll with Worthy, Reed, and Downs, and you just say, let it ride. Your RBs are so good. What's your record, Grippy? Because I wonder what you're doing without wide receivers, how good you're still playing. You could, if you feel like you need to make a move and you're like 2 or 3 wins, then you trade one of Gibbs, Kyron, or HN for 2 players, but you have to make sure you're getting like I'm talking like Kamara and Nico, or Debo and Kamara. You know what I mean? Like you have to hit a home run. And Legend of Trey, appreciate you. Mahomes, B. Hall, Gibbs, Lamb, Chase, Laporta, McConkey, Trey McBride. Any moves starting 1 tight end, 1 QB. I would probably say with this squad, you've got Debo, bro. You got Debo. You've got Lamb. You got McConkey. You got Jamar Chase, Laporta. Like, what can you do with this team? You just let it ride. There's nothing to trade here. There's nothing I want you to trade. You have absolutely everything I would want on this team. Unless I'm turning like Breece Hall into Kyron, using maybe like Rashad White or Njoku or McConkey. I would use McConkey and Hall to turn that into Gibbs or Kyron or something. Or you have Gibbs. Kyron or Barkley or Henry, or that's it. And with Breece Hall's performance, I don't know that that's going to be possible, but I have no problem sitting on your team. Your team is phenomenal. It's an unreal team. I have Wilson, seeing if I could get Hall. Yeah, I would take Breece Hall over Garrett Wilson. Maybe not everybody would. Your record is 4-4. I would consider that big trade if you can do it. If not, don't pull the trigger on the best offer you get. Like, oh, I got to take whatever I can get. You just sit back. But I think Brooks for Reed would be interesting. Brooks for DK. Brooks for a receiver like that. Okay. What else we got? All right, phone lines are open briefly.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
You will spend the rest of your year saying this, that Gibbs or Monty. What are you saying, Tyler? What are you complaining about now? You will spend the rest of the year. You will spend the rest of the year saying is that Gibbs or Monty. What are you talking about? What are you trying to say negatively now? What are we doing, bro? 5-3 PPR, Hurts, Kyron, Achane, Lamb. That's a great team. Lamb, Devontae Smith, Otten, Worthy, bench, Bigsby. Love it. Thoughts? I need to upgrade my flex. Trade Breece for Lamb. So now looking for a solid flex. Breece for Lamb's a fantastic trade. Lamb is a top 4, top 5 overall player. Nice job buying Lamb. All last 2 weeks we've been saying Lamb's one of the Gibbs and Lamb winning leagues. Like the two best buy low calls we've had all year, Gibbs and Lamb. Gibbs and Lamb, the best buy low calls we've had all year. And you can say, oh, those are big names, Smitty. They were easily had. Everyone kept crapping on Lamb left and right, crapping on Gibbs left and right. Oh, Gibbs, he's playing second fiddle to Monty. He's playing. Here's Tyler being negative on it. Gibbs has Monty to deal with. All right, Doug from Cali, go ahead.
In my second flex, I'm looking at Chase Brown, or do I go with Tracy if he plays?
Tracy. If he's playing, you play Tracy, bro. Not a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. This one right here, upgrade. I don't know. Devontae Smith. I mean, Achane and Kyron Hurts is phenomenal. Lamb, Devontae Smith, Worthy bench. I don't know that you're upgrading much. You could try Worthy. Maybe you let Worthy play. I don't know if your deadline's next week, but Worthy and Bigsby together, if they both ball out, you could get something solid. If not, I probably hold, bro. I probably would hold. Can you imagine keep doubting Gibbs? Like, how could you doubt Gibbs at this point? How could you say a negative thing about Gibbs at this point? How do you even have that conversation with somebody with a straight face? Tony, you're live. Turn the show down to the background, bro. What's up? What can I do for you?
Hey, I just want to talk about Garrett Wilson and all the people who kind of hung in there, predicted how good he could be. I know this year he had a lot of hype going into the draft, and the first 5 weeks, maybe 4 weeks were really rough. But for those guys who didn't trade him and still believed, even though the Jets have been a pretty bad franchise organization, I want to say hats off to you guys and go Garrett Wilson. I think there's still a lot in store for him for the rest of the season. I think he's going to be looking like a bottom end wide receiver 1, even a very high end wide receiver 2 the rest of the season.
All right, later, bro. Thanks.
It's time for some
Revenge tour, revenge tour.
Look at this revenge tour board, bros. Look at it. Pitt's on total revenge tour mode. I mean, this hasn't been touched. This board looks phenomenal. This is the revenge tour board. It's been sitting here all year. Bijan, London, Pitts, smash, smash, smash. Stevenson, kind of a bust. Burrow, spotty. AR5, bust. Musgrave, bust. Jacobs, smash. McLaurin, smash. Garrett Wilson, number 1, smash. Cooper Kupp, he's just getting going again. He was a top 5 overall wide receiver at the beginning of the year. We smashed the hell out of that. Dell's having a revenge tour inside of a revenge tour, and Kyler's been okay. This is a damn good revenge tour board. This is probably one of the most accurate revenge tour boards we could come up with, and they're not easy names either. Tank Dell, Garrett Wilson was a very, very sketchy offseason call because you just didn't know what was going on with it. You doubted him already, the PTSD. But look at Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp was a 2nd to 3rd round pick. This revenge tour board exploded. Absolutely exploded. Very proud of it, to be honest with you. B. Sarah, appreciate you. Smitty, rate my team. Love Mahomes, Gibbs, Mixon, Jacobs, Mason. Wow, nice squad, bro. Jamar Chase, Debo, MHJ, Bowers, McBride. Trade one of the tight ends, bro, unless it's a 2 tight end league, with Brooks or with Mason or even with Jacobs to get just that slight upgrade. I think Mason and a tight end, and you even throw in like Brooks, could get you a Hill type player, a Walker or a Kamara or a Breece Hall or a Tyreek Hill. I mean, bro, you should be able to figure something out with that. That's an amazing arsenal of weaponry to toss around. Did Tyler get back with your coffee? No, he didn't. Would you trade Chase Brown for Waddle or DJ Moore? I would trade him for Waddle. I would take the gamble on Waddle with Tua back. And Tua looked pretty good. Trade my neighbors for his Nico. I'd take Nico. Yeah, I like both though. I honestly wouldn't lose sleep having one over the other, but that's all I'm saying. One of your listeners said Kyron or Gibbs. What's wrong with that? And don't talk to me about Kyron, Tyler. It's like going to a brain surgeon and trying to talk about the cerebellum, the corpus callosum. Don't come to me and talk about the corpus callosum. I do the brain surgery around here, Tyler. What's wrong with saying, who do you like more, Gibbs or Kyron going forward? What's wrong with that question? They're both top 5 running backs, my guy. They're both top 5 running backs. Do I take Kyron over him? Who are you talking to right now? Of course I take Kyron, but that's not a bad question. Gibbs is that good. Give him respect. But let the data speak for itself, because I could say it till I'm blue in the face, but I have scientific evidence and data I could just show you. It makes sense. But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs's workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10.
He's Kyron. He's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyron. He can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
Pretty simple. Pretty simple scientific data and algorithmic component megabolt structure analysis. I mean, who doesn't understand that? It's pretty simple. Well,
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Tyler, we don't need your input anymore on it. Thank you, though. Appreciate you. Look, Tyler, you're getting out of your depth, bro, on the Gibbs conversation. Okay, it's just not. It's not something. Let somebody that's got a master's in Jahmyr Gibbs, component structures, handle this one from here. Appreciate you, though, Tyler. And on top of that, like, I'll handle the Kyron stuff. Gavin from Arizona, you're live. Go.
Okay, so I made a trade. I traded Chase and Bowers for Mixon, Daniels, and BTJ.
Mixon, JD5, and BT?
Yeah. I needed a quarterback back.
So Chase and Bowers. Chase and Bowers for Mixon, JD5, and BT. Who is your quarterback?
Gino.
How'd that happen? What in the hell did you do?
I just didn't.
You literally
I
waited.
traded Hurts.
Okay, you traded Hurts?
Yeah.
What'd you trade Hurts for?
I traded him.
What? For what?
It was a bad. You said it was a bad trade. It was Hurts and Achane for Bijan before the season.
Yeah. Well, at least you're man enough to come in here and admit that. I give that to you, bro. Chase Brown or Jamar Chase and Bowers for Mixon, JD5, and BT. If you guys could mute yourself and turn the background noise down, I'd appreciate that. Chase Brown and Jamar. I keep saying Chase Brown. Jamar Chase and Bowers. This is so tough, bro. Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to give you my opinion. I mean, look, Mixon's playing as good as anyone. What do you guys think of this trade? He had Geno Smith. I just think you had Njoku anyway.
Yeah, and on.
Okay. I mean, it's pretty. It's pretty. I want to say it's pretty like even in some respects. I don't think you made a grave mistake. It's like I'm analyzing it, I'm stuttering on it. I'm not able to give you a total answer just at a glance, but I think that the way you got to look at it is JD5 over Geno by a ton. Jamar Chase has the capability of being up and down. I'm not saying he is going to drop off or anything, but one could argue that Mixon's just as good right now. And I get it, you go down from Bowers to Njoku, but Njoku's solid. And if you can use BT, is BT going into your lineup?
Yeah.
Then if that's the case, then I think this trade will serve you well. Is it easy for me to say I like it? No, because getting rid of Jamar Chase is a tough call. But I would say it's a pretty good trade for you, considering you had Geno as your quarterback.
Yeah.
So Smitty approved to a degree, but I don't love trading Jamar Chase away. All right, bro, appreciate you. Rob from New Jersey, you're live.
Smitty, what's up, man?
What's up?
What do we think of Breece Hall? I have Wilson He went. I was actually at the Jets game tonight, so it was pretty crazy seeing it live. Wilson went off, but I have Breece Hall and Wilson, so I feel like one of them does good, the other one does bad. Would you hold Breece Hall if you had Wilson, or would you try and trade one of them?
Well, who are you going to trade
Or
Breece Hall
you
for?
both have to.
Because you're going to end up selling him low. And I want to buy Breece Hall everywhere I can because of the panic Peters out there that are going to want to get rid of him right now. There's no one going to buy him high. So you're stuck, and nor am I too concerned about that situation. I think they both can have good days. It'd be different if they're in the same position, but I think they both could have good days. Breece Hall is he's a top 5 running back. I don't care what anybody says. I'm buying him on the panic. The panic is real. I can't tell you, and we've already covered this like all show long. So you obviously just got here, but go rewatch the show.
No, I've been here, man.
Okay. Well, then you know I don't want you to get rid of Hall because you're gonna have to trade him at a discount. Like, what are you gonna do if you could get like Kamara and Debo? Then sure. If you could get Kamara and
Achane
straight up, sure. I mean, are you gonna be able to get that?
Really?
Yeah, I'd probably take Achane straight
Probably
up.
not.
Gibbs straight up, sure, but are you gonna get that? Try. See if you can get Achane. See if you can get Gibbs. I'd take those guys straight up, obviously. Kamara and another piece, why not? And Kamara's been struggling too, so maybe that is your open door, so to speak. Neighbors.
Yeah, I'm just concerned, like the same. Yeah, Neighbors is nice. I mean, the
Nico.
receivers, I have Evans who's hurt, and Puka who now is hurt.
Like, what if you could
But I
get
also
Neighbors
have
and Pacheco? I'd take Neighbors and Pacheco. If you could get, if you could get Nico and Pacheco, like something like that. So maybe go to the Neighbors owner. Maybe they need a running back so bad they're going to overlook Breece Hall's game, and they'll give you the value you're asking for. But you're basically, if you're trading Breece Hall, that's like you're in a housing market. Your house was worth $500,000. The market took a dip, but everybody knows it's going to probably go back up. But it's currently being appraised not for 500, it's being appraised for 400,000 now. And you go to a buyer and they go, "I'll give you the 5. I know it's going to get there. I'll give you the 5." That's what you need to find, is an owner that's going to say, "I understand what he is. I'll buy him for what he is." That's it. Other than that, you don't trade him.
I'll have to wait. I probably won't trade him because, I mean, the Jets offense looked good, but then he didn't do good. Adams looked good. Wilson looked good, but I guess it's going to be, on and off, depending on the week and the game script.
Yeah. And keep in mind,
Yeah.
keep in mind what Breece Hall did last year when he had some good games right here, but he had a stretch of games, 20, running back 23, running back 26, running back 11, running back 23, running back 21, then running back 2, 60, 1, 3, 2. Like, he goes on stretches, and if you trade him before he goes on the stretch, it's going to burn. It's going to sting. But for anybody to, like, literally not understand that he was running back 2 overall last year, think about what I'm saying, bro. He was running back 2 overall last year in fantasy, and he had, listen to all the bad games he had. Running back 11, running back 69, running back 53, running back 23, running back 23, running back 26, running back 11, running back 23, running back 21, and running back 60. Wow. Running back 60. He had all of those games in 18 weeks. But he also was number 3, 4, 7, 2, 1, 3, 2.
Yeah, I'm probably going to hold him. I just get concerned because I feel like my team is Jets, and Jets haven't looked good up until, like, tonight.
Yeah. Don't worry about him.
He's Breece Hall, so
all right, bro.
That's a good prop that. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Rock out. Hang tight, rock out real quickly. Let me just get this super out of the way. I think I had another super chat over here. Let me just go to this screen real quick. Yeah, I had 2 of them here. 10 team PPR, 6-2. Love, Gibbs, Hall, Lamb, Chase McBride, Puka, Brooks, Andrews, Kraft. Bro, first of all, thank you, Jeremy, for the $20 hauler. Not a grandma league. Just been following buy low religiously. Fire. Question is, trade Puka for a QB1? No. Trade Brooks, trade Andrews or Kraft with Brooks, trade McConkey. Trade one of those guys to upgrade Love into Mahomes. because Mahomes is cheap. You give a player like McConkey, I bet you get it done. Not to mention, Jeremy, the owner of Mahomes probably is wavering on starting him week to week, and he wants to get rid of that dilemma. So consider that. Other than that, I'm going to say no. Would I trade maybe a Jonathan Brooks and McConkey for just like one better player to have a better gun to throw in and out of your lineup? I'd say sure. But Brooks and McConkey together should be able to upgrade Jordan Love for your quarterback into Mahomes, into, you could even say Kyler. I don't think you're going to get Josh Allen or Hurts, but you could certainly try. I think Mahomes is easily available. Lamar might be very hard to get for that, but you could try. I would try all of those things. McConkey and Brooks with the quarterback. I believe Jeremy is enough. And if it's not, then stand down. Your team is on fire. You've got enough depth to not worry about anything else. $10 hauler from Ben. Appreciate you, Smitty. 5 and 3. Love, Downs, Demarcus Robinson, Achane, Mostert, Kincaid, likely benches Jamo, Rashad or Ray Davis, Jennings, Wright, Stafford, Nico on IR. Said earlier, trade Nico for Dell, Reed, Monty. Stand down. This is tough. I mean, Nico's one step closer to coming back now. You don't get the Tank Dell points. It just got dropped. Monty's solid, but Nico's better. But Dell, Reed, Monty is a decent haul, but I don't know. Chat, what do you think with his team? His team is literally Love, Achane. He's got players like Downs and Demarcus Robinson in his lineup, and Mostert. This is very, very weak in general. You need to make a move. Nico's coming back, but does he give up Nico for Reed, Dell, and Monty to beef up his overall team? It's kind of tough. I mean, doesn't he kind of need to explore this type of trade? Does he get more? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you don't get more. I mean, look, Dell and Reed and Monty's a lot. That's kind of a lot for Nico. Can someone give their input on this, or can like at least 10 of you vote whether you'd rather have the Dell, Reed, and Monty side? I think you should probably take the combo. Ben, I think you should grab it. I wish you could have got the Dell points, but you know, it is what it is. That's definitely a trade you want to make before that game, so you get the help, and now you might not. And then this last super chat here, 7-1, JD5 Mahomes, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dell, or not Dell. Where did I see Dell? Terry, Worthy, Coleman, Kyron, Achane, Hunt. Wow, good team. Give Terry for Debo. I'd rather have Debo. I know some would rather have Terry. They're pretty even. Like you literally can't. You know, you're like. The thing is, you want to make this trade after this week. Don't give him Terry and then you not be able to use Debo. I'd rather have Terry if it meant getting. But then again, you're 7-1. Doesn't really matter. I like Terry a lot. Terry's steady. He's playing fantastic. But I do think without Ayuk, Debo's going to go crazy. I'd probably lean Debo by a hair, but I definitely feels like it's something that's extremely arguable for, I think, like anybody. I think everybody would be arguing 50-50 on each side. So pick your poison there. Trust your gut. I lean Debo, but I would like you to do it after the trade, or after the week. Do the trade after the week goes through. Rock out. You're live. What's up, pal?
Yeah, someone offered, basically wanted Collins from me, and can I give you like his players to see if we can come up with a trade?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Nico Collins and I'm 6-2, and his players is Barkley, Gibbs, Tyreek Hill, Olave, Amari Cooper, Cup, and Pacheco, as far as ones I would be willing to get.
So I would take obviously Gibbs over Nico straight up. I would take Barkley over Nico straight up. I would take Hill and Pacheco over Nico. I would take Cup and Pacheco over Nico. I don't know that I would take Cup Well, I might take Cup over Nico straight up, maybe, but maybe not. I think I'd rather just rather than make the move 1-for-1, I'd say, if this guy wants Nico that bad, make him overpay. So Cup and Pacheco for Nico, or Hill and Pacheco for Nico. Those are the two most realistic moves, and I would definitely hold strong. If you got to give up something small to make it a 2-for-2, I would. But that's the only thing that comes to mind, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it. Think Stroud can get back to life once Collins comes back?
We'll find out. I don't know. I think he looks like garbage right now.
It's terrible.
He looks horrible. I mean, he can't read defenses right now. He has tunnel vision when he's being pressured. I've never seen a quarterback lose all vision like this. The one that he never had this before. It didn't seem like it. I think he just got figured out. But I think, like we said when Diggs was signed, this could be a toxic. This is why Adam Peters, no matter how talented Brandon Ayuk was, he didn't want Ayuk around to carry JD5 into the old habits. He wanted JD5 to not have a single tie to any player that would get him in a certain, habit or two that he didn't need to bring over, And so Adam Peters, the best GM in the league, maybe, knew this. He knew this. This is why we even said, if he doesn't want him, I trust Adam Peters as to why. Because Adam Peters is the one that found Ayuk. Because he was the assistant GM, essentially, over in San Francisco. Making all of these scouting calls, finding Brock Purdy, finding George Kittle, finding Brandon Ayuk. That's what Adam Peters did, and he knew. He knew not to bring Ayuk over. And I trusted him. We all talked about that constantly. And Diggs felt very much like that. If Adam Peters were there, and that's the thing is the Texans have one of the best GMs too. I'm just surprised and maybe Diggs isn't necessarily the problem. I don't know, but it certainly didn't make this team feel like it's the same team. I don't know. We'll see what happens. When Nico and Dell are back there together, I wonder if we get it like a dislocated kneecap. It gets popped into place and everything's good. I'm hoping that's the case.
I hope so.
Yeah. All right, Rock Out. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, one more question. You played Bo over Tua this week, right?
Bo Nix over Tua?
I don't like the matchup, Tua.
Miami at Buffalo, and Denver is they're on the road, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Denver at Baltimore. I mean, that's not a great matchup either.
Yeah.
I'm a little more worried about Bo Nix at Baltimore. Chad, what do you think? I think Tua's back. I think Tua's capable of. I think he's going to have that big game. I mean, this is tough. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm more worried about Bo Nix against Baltimore, man. I don't know. Let me check.
For some reason, Buffalo always has his number. Tua.
I don't know. Let me see something. And I mean, Nix is playing great right now, though. I mean, Baltimore. Yeah, Baltimore is giving up. I just looked it up. They're giving up a lot of yards.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a tougher game than the stats will suggest, though. But I guess I roll Nix. I guess I roll with the hot hand. I will say I think Tua has a pretty decent day. I think Tua connects with Tyreek Hill on a bomb touchdown. But Baltimore does give up a lot of yards. I'd probably say, I guess, start Nix for safety, Tua for high upside, high. Like, if you're projected to lose, I'd probably swing with Tua. If you're projected to win and you need steady Eddie or it's going to be close, you probably want to put Tua on the bench and go with Nix against at least a defense that, while I think they're going to play really tough at home, the way they're playing on offense, I think I think that one thing you got to keep in mind is like teams are losing bad to Baltimore, so they got to throw on Baltimore. So the numbers are kind of there, but there's also rhyme and reason as to why. But that could play into it. Like Nix might have to throw his way back into the game, and so I would say you need the safer route. Nix has been playing safe football, the good football. He's number 9 or 10, in scoring. Nix is really good. I like Nix a lot. He's got a big upside, huge future. Yeah, I like Nix more than Caleb. I've liked that all year. If you remember going back to my QB ranking show, Caleb was my number 4 ranked quarterback. And everybody was losing their shit on it. But now Nix is playing better than Caleb. Nix is playing better football than Caleb. You can argue that if you're a Bears fan all you want. But Nix is playing better football than Caleb.
Like Caleb played pretty bad football until the fourth quarter last game.
Yeah, Caleb was looking garbage, and then he, and then the people that glaze him is just, the people that glaze Caleb is just, it's so crazy. Caleb had that, there's that one, he was on the sideline talking to his coach about calling a timeout, and everyone's like, the awareness on this rookie to know to, like everyone's just looking for something on Caleb. Yeah, go Knicks, I guess, bro. All right, appreciate your rock out.
I appreciate it.
All right, let me get Ron, hang tight real quickly. Let me get to these. Just get these off my plate here. I need a running back too bad. Traded Mason for MHJ. I don't mind that. Have Kyron, Dowdle, and Bigsby. Wide receivers: Nico, Neighbors, Reed, MHJ, Shakir. Trade MHJ for Tracy. I mean, it could work out. Tracy's playing that good, but I feel like crappy about doing that. I feel crappy about making that move. But the truth is Tracy's numbers are equivalent. Like you definitely, I think it's not a bad move. I feel very, very, part of it's the expectation that we've had for MHJ, but MHJ did have a nice, week 8 outing, and it feels like he's in bounce back mode, but he could just as easily go back with Kyler making bad decisions and not throwing to him, or the play calling. Play calling has been more of a problem than Kyler. I would say try and get more, but I don't mind where you're going with this. At the end of the day, you need an RB. You want to make this move, but don't necessarily rule out the idea that Bigsby can be your 2, and you just keep rolling with MHJ. Like, I like Tracy a lot. I'd probably rather have Tracy over Bigsby right now, but it was not a week ago that we felt differently, and I think I would just be careful not to completely write off Bigsby and, tear down your wide receiver room when you have a capable running back in Bigsby. So that's a tough one. But Chad, if you want to vote on that one, Tracy or MHJ, given Forever's situation, or does Forever roll with Bigsby, keep MHJ in the lineup? If you could vote some way in the chat to indicate what your side is, I'd appreciate it. And this one right here, 3 and 5, can't win. Gino, Kyron, Debo, MHJ, yeah, you need to do something. I can trade Kyron for Hall, Kyler, and Najee. That could be good. I'd like to see you get a receiver with Hall, but you could maybe do that with Najee or make another trade. But I think, Kyron for Hall, Kyler, and Najee might be a decent move for you. It gives you Kyler over Geno. Some would argue Geno's better. That's fine. I'm fine with that, but I'm going to take a gamble on Kyler. So I like that. Najee goes right into your lineup. Now you can maybe trade White or someone else. This move does improve your team, Tyler. And just maybe try and get Tyreek Hill somehow. Najee's got a tremendous trade value right now. And if you do get Breece Hall to go into the lineup, or you could trade Breece Hall for Tyreek Hill and another piece, or do something that route, put Najee in the lineup. Either way, Tyler, I think that moves the one that gets you closer, but you're not done. You need to do one more trade after that, I think, to either get a wide receiver somehow or move those pieces around. Any moves I need to make: 10-man PPR 3 and 5, also a 3 and 5 team. Allen, Achane, Kyron, Tyreek, Jamar Chase, London, Hawkinson. No, you're sitting on this team. There's not even enough, unless that's Chase Brown. I don't think it's Chase Brown, though, because it's in the middle of the wide receivers. That's Jamar Chase. That's an unbelievable team. and there's not a chance in hell I'm doing a single thing to change anything that you have. How you're 3-5 is beyond me. I mean, I can understand that you've had, you know, some downs with Achane and Tyreek, obviously, but this team's gonna be fine. Let it ride. 3-5 wouldn't concern me when I'm looking at this roster, and I would never bet that team was 3-5. You know, looking at it, I have to think about it hard and go, okay, well, wait a minute, how good has this team been playing because of Achane and Tyreek Hill's situation? But damn, that team is solid. I'm not moving a thing. I'm not moving a thing, bro. Ron Navy, you're live.
You're on mute.
What's up, Ron?
How you doing, bro?
Good, man.
Well,
you okay?
Kind of.
What's going on there?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, sounds like you're hang gliding.
I had a good day yesterday.
It sounds like you're hang gliding.
I mean, the whole Stroud thing.
Yes. What are you doing? The phone's like going. It sounds like you're going like this with the phone. What's going on with the phone?
Nothing's going on with the phone. It's Sam.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, it's a lot better. So yeah, Stroud looks like trash. Looks like straight trash right now. I don't know if it fixes once Nico's back, but like hard to make excuses and say, oh, because Nico's out, he turns into a pumpkin. Like he had Diggs before Diggs tore his ACL. He had Diggs, Tank, Mixon playing as a top 1 to 5 running back, a solid defense in name. Like this should not have been the season that Stroud's dropping. So I don't know what to think. And he looks rattled. He doesn't look confident. He has tunnel vision. He can't see anything downfield when he gets any sort of pressure. I'm hoping it all comes rushing back to him with Nico on the field, which is alarming, but maybe that's what needs to happen, and whatever. We can judge him for it later and say, without Nico, he sucks. With Nico, he's great. I mean, I don't know. I just know Tank Dell ain't going anywhere because with Diggs out for the year with the torn ACL, as we reported, days ago when they were still trying to confirm it, I went live on it because we knew that was where it was going, kind of before anybody. But this is a situation where it maybe we get some return to normalcy. Maybe Stroud, like I just described, like Adam Peters not wanting Ayuk in Washington, no matter how much of a talent he is. I think maybe Diggs was a mistake. I don't know. We'll see what it does. Sometimes he's just a cancer or an annoyance in the locker room. Just the way that he operates, the way that even when he was talking about how he's never the bigger man, when he was talking about that feud on the sideline, it's like that's his attitude. And even whatever locker room Diggs is in, they always say he's kind of problematic and he just brings a negative aura and you don't know your place. And who would you least let date your sister in the locker room? Diggs. Diggs. Everyone says it like he steps on everyone's toes emotionally. I don't know. I'm hoping that's the difference maker, bro, but I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know what Stroud's doing.
I think Stroud. I think they're letting too much pressure in on him to begin with. But he's almost looks like he's playing with side effects of a concussion.
Yeah, it does look like that. I mean, it looks bad.
He looks like They didn't bench him or they didn't do whatever, but I think he got a concussion and they just let him play.
Well,
he kind of looks like Tua got concussed.
Okay, so I get
confused.
I get what you're saying, but the only problem with that is I thought you were saying like that's been his general play lately, like in a almost joking fashion. You're saying actually this game it felt like that. Maybe there's something that comes of that, but
last game too.
Yeah, so I don't think that. I mean, unless his concussion's been lingering and he's not out of a concussive state, if they were to test him, then I would just say that this is a damn long concussion. I don't know. I don't think he's in it.
It's possible he could have got concussed.
It's possible, and he's not
them checking him.
Maybe, but I don't know.
What player is gonna admit that he's not totally?
I would say because he hasn't played well this entire year, though, Ron. I don't think it sounds like a stretch. Almost sounds like you have 8 shares of Stroud.
But I mean, he really isn't struggling any worse than Allen struggled for the first part of the season, and Mahomes is still struggling as far as I'm concerned.
How many?
I mean, yeah, he finally
How many
had
leagues?
2 touchdowns last time, but Mahomes is still
How many
struggling.
leagues?
He's not.
Ron, how many leagues?
You know, he's not whatever. What?
How many leagues do you have Stroud in? I'm just kidding.
Oh, I got him in a few.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't.
In a few, but I got good back. I mean, I got good quarterbacks. I got them. I got a lot of Stroud hurts.
I wish it was that simple. I wish it was, and I don't wish it was that, but I mean, I wish it was that simple that it's like, oh, this is why. But he looks lost. He looks worse than AR5 in some ways.
I don't know about that. No.
I look. He had 0 touchdowns tonight, Ron. He had 0 touchdowns tonight. Tonight.
Well, I mean, they went away from Mixon. They should have just kept pounding the ball with Mixon. Looks he's had several weeks. He just looks awesome. I mean, at the beginning of the year, I mean, you were even down on it. You didn't give him much of a shot, but he's just proven everybody.
No, he's a top 5 running back. He looks like a different player, though. This doesn't even look like the same guy. Like
he is. Well, he's in a different system, though.
I mean, he looks unbelievable.
He's in a different system, and sometimes that's all a player needs. You know that. I know that.
Yeah.
Even quarterbacks.
I mean, they
look different when they go one team to another team.
Yeah, you had changing situation. He's aging out. The mileage is not adding up, and he just came out and said, "Screw all that. I'm just gonna be a top 5 running back. Watch me." Yeah. And then he got hurt, so it was like, "Damn it." This is what we fear. And there's still some of that risk at 28 with his mileage to be like, okay, you can be as good as you want, but if you leave people hanging in week 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, doesn't matter how good you are weeks 1 through 10. Christian McCaffrey proved that last year when McCaffrey had the best season he almost possibly could have, and he screwed everyone in week 17 and sat out the entire second half. He screwed me out of $30,000. But yeah, hopefully Mixon stays healthy all year. But right now he's a top 5 running back, no question about it. Mixon's on fire, absolutely on fire.
Him and Henry and there's.
Yeah, I don't know if you. So
I thought Henry this is going to be his down year, but no, he's freaking. One of his best years ever.
It's weird, we've had a hard line. 28 years old. And then you maybe could do it on your 28-year-old season. We've almost had a reset of that with Kamara at 29, with Henry at 30. I'm not saying that we can move the goalpost necessarily, but I think there needs to be a certain level of open-mindedness for 28 and 29 now that we didn't have as much of in previous years. But the sad part is, McCaffrey is 28, and that fell off right there. Eckler the year prior, 28, that fell off. So we still have a lot of mounting evidence that 28 is the kiss of death a year. But it is wild that we have Mixon doing it at 28 when he should have.
Look at Hunt.
Yeah,
but look at Hunt.
Yeah,
he's come back. He's effective.
Did you see how tired he was though? Like he looks like he's gonna break though. That's why I'm not worried about Pacheco getting his job back. Hunt's like sitting there on the ground like that, and he's like, someone help me up. And I know he hasn't been playing for a while. I get it, but like he's not gonna last. I don't think if they keep giving him the ball the way they're giving him. But we'll see. You never know. These running backs are. Part of me thinks there's a theory. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I have a theory that the reason we're getting a year back now, roughly, used to be 28 is the cutoff. Now I think it's like 28, 29. Potentially at least being introduced into some equations, is that we have guys maybe at the running back position over the course of the last 5-10 years slowly taking on less rushing attempts and taking on more receiving work, as that running back is now like a hybrid back almost across the league. Doesn't make sense with Henry's case because Henry's been nothing but ground and pound, but he's a whole different anomaly. But the fact that Kamara and Mixon and these guys are now like breaching 29 and they can do it still, I think a lot of that has to do with, okay, if you are a hybrid back of sorts, you have that 28-29 territory. And McCaffrey kind of fell in there, but the only thing about McCaffrey is that his mileage is through the roof, different than everybody else's. So Same thing with Eckler. Eckler was abused. He was abused between the tackles when he was really never made to be that guy. So Eckler was kind of clear as day. 28 was a void year. McCaffrey was pretty much an avoid year. I admit, I smashed on avoiding Eckler. I said don't go near him. I didn't even say draft him in one league. I said don't draft Eckler. He fell off the face of the earth. I said draft McCaffrey in one league. Do not, if you had 10 different leagues, only draft him in one. And you grab Mason and Garendo to be safe, but that's it. But I will say Mixon and Henry, I missed on saying avoid those guys at certain levels, but I didn't say avoid Henry. I was very, very clear all offseason that Henry was a guy that if he climbed too high in the second round, I didn't know that it was safe enough. And I admit I'd be wrong in that case. But Henry was still acceptable value to anybody at end of round 2, top of 3. He was a home run there. He was very, very much a player we did not stray away from at all in those territories. But I will admit that when he did climb up in some cases, it'd be but he obviously crushed at that second round value no matter where you took him. Top 5.
No, this year I was surprised. Because all the other times you've been, Henry, this is gonna be it. He'll probably end up injured. You've been down on Henry. And then this year, you weren't so down on him. I was surprised.
Yeah, we flipped. You're big on Swift this year. You're big on Swift this year. I was anti-Swift, and the tables turned there. Yeah. You were anti-Henry. I was a little more accepting of Henry, and then the tables didn't flip it. It's just what the hell's going on here?
I know. Funny. Yeah, it's funny. Oh, the other thing you were talking about, Bo Nix and all that. I don't think Bo Nix is going to have to do a big comeback in that. I think Denver can beat Baltimore. I really do, because Denver's got a top defense, and just like Cleveland was able to beat them, because partly because their defense kept them in the game. I think that's going to be the same with Denver. Denver's got a stout defense. I mean, they're top 3, top 5 defense throughout the whole league. So, I think Baltimore could have some problems playing Denver.
Lamar, the one thing about Lamar,
plays within himself.
The one thing about Lamar, and I might be off on some of the years, so I'm not going to necessarily reference them exactly, but Lamar is usually really good for half a year. And I'm not saying Lamar's going to drop off at all, but I'm just saying Lamar has been on fire lately. And I'm just saying be careful, because he either gets hurt or he has one half of his season's different than the other half. Baltimore is looking great though, but yeah, it wouldn't shock me if they ran into some roadblocks and had a different couple string of weeks going. Last week and then Denver. It definitely, it's not going to be all roses. Yeah, it's not all rose petals and white doves.
I didn't catch your show when you went on about the trade, but they got Deontay. And Deontay's a crybaby if you don't have the ball. So Deontay's going to be in the locker room crying like he always does about he's not getting the ball enough and this and that. He's kind of like Deontay. I kind of like Diggs in a way. That's my feeling on him.
Yeah, Deontay's stone hands.
He could cause some problems. He could cause some risks in that offense.
Yeah, we'll see.
He's just going to complain.
All right. I don't know. Anything else, Ron? I got to get back to these super chats, but anything else?
No. Did you see my thing last night? It's not football, but I did my first Crossroads basketball tournament.
Nice.
And I won it last night.
Nice.
$2,000.
Nice job, Ron.
300 people.
Woo!
Yeah, $2,000.
Ron dropping wads.
Tonight, I got the top 5. But then I dropped back in the last game. So
yeah,
but yeah, I did it last night for $2,000.
Nice job. All right, bro. I'm glad
my football picks tonight. So.
Oh yeah, I if you would have never told me about those up arrows, which I told everybody about, I would have left Breece Hall alone and I would have crushed this 3 for 3. So you got me into a bad habit now. I'm pushing my risk. I'm risking the biscuit, and I moved it from 69.5 with this little up and down arrow right here. I moved it to 79.5 to get this higher 0.24 added to it, and I missed it because of that. So I might not touch it. I don't know. I think I need to stay away from it.
By 5 yards.
Yeah,
you missed it by 5 yards.
I need to stay away from it. I think it's a bad influence.
Well, I mean, it's just, it can work. It can, it can bite you too if you let it. You got to be careful.
Yeah.
All
right, Ron.
Do it kind of like the same way that you got to find that player that has that really low amount, and then you can bump it up when you got a good matchup. You got to look at the matchups.
Well, I thought I was with Breece Hall.
All
All
right,
right, later on. Appreciate you. Anthony, I hate to cut you off short, Anthony, but as fast as you can, pal. What can I do for you?
I got the Jonathan Taylor owner offered me JT and Nico for JJ. Is that enough?
JT and Nico for JJ? It certainly is enough.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Smash that.
And then
I like JJ, but bro.
I
mean, let me ask you a question. Nico goes down. Knock on wood. Nico goes down. Do you feel like you still have a fighting chance against him? JT versus JJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say JT goes down. You hear what I'm saying? JT goes down. Do you think Nico and JJ have a fighting chance against each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you.
So I mean, whenever you can answer yes to that, your two players you're getting, it's the deal to make. It's the art of mastering a 2-for-1 trade or receiving 2-for-1 is, can you answer yes to that question, even if it's a hesitation yes, like on one of them. Like if this was Debo instead of Nico, you'd be like, yeah, I mean, of course I'm drafting JJ over Debo, but like, yes, Smitty, you're forcing me to answer. Could Debo, in theory, outscore JJ or hang with him? Yes. Could JT? Yes. Could Kamara, if it was Kamara instead of JT? Yes. So that's how you smash a trade, bro. That's how you smash a trade.
Okay, and then real quick, I've been busy all day, and I just saw Puka got hurt. I know you might have covered it already. Do you know if it's serious or?
Yeah, so it's Puka is it's not considered serious. I have the news report right here. Watch the beginning of the show. I go over it at the top, but I'll just tell you briefly that, McVay's saying it's a minor injury. They're not too concerned, but it's something that we need to be worried about all week because who the hell knows what it turns into, I don't know if it's the PCL or if it's another injury, if it's meniscus, if it's something that could breed into something different later, even if it's minor now, but it's something that could be something that could get worse if he played on it too quickly or whatever. We've seen these things happen before. I mean, Kamara was just a calf injury. Then it was an Achilles, and then he's on IR. Nico was fine. And then he went out, played on it, got injured. We've seen players like Higgins. Higgins said he felt great and fantastic, or never felt better. And then he didn't. And then Higgins didn't play. Remember earlier in the year? Like we've been told this left and right. Oh, it's minor, and then all of a sudden he's on IR. So we got to be careful. But I also think we don't knee-jerk react because it very well could just be minor. It could be something like, hey, because they got to report on this stuff. If Nico came into his office and said, hey, my knee's I feel fine. I just, my knee's feeling a little bit, like I tweaked it a little bit. It'll be fine. It's nothing structural, but it just feels like a little bit sore. And I'm just careful. Let's sit you down for a couple of days. Let's just take it easy and then we'll go in. Well, you'll be fine for the game, but let's just play it by ear. And then you're asked about it. You're obligated to report on it. So you report out with the knee. Like, we don't know. We don't know. For right now, we're being told that it's minor. So we got to kind of take that for what it is for now.
Okay. All right, bro. I appreciate it.
All right, later, bro. Jake, you got 30 seconds, then I got to go. Phone lines are closed after Jake. All right, Jake.
What up?
Jake, you waited like 5 seconds to say anything. Traded Tracy. I already hit the M button, and then I heard Jake go, blah, blah. Traded Tracy and Hawkinson for MHJ. I could get, we just had this conversation about Tracy. Tracy, MHJ, you could argue Tracy's as good. You could definitely argue it. If you needed an RB, I could get behind it. If you needed a wide receiver, I could get behind the MHJ side. I want MHJ a little bit more, but I think Tracy's easily in this conversation. That's what we talked about earlier. It's a tough call, but like you got to like grab reality for a second, shake it and say, damn it, reality. Is Tracy as good as MHJ right now? Probably. 2-6, 10-team league, London for Pacheco and Smith. I'd take Pacheco and Devontae Smith, especially if you're 2-6 and you need something. Should I move JT? If you can get like a Kamara and a player, whoever called in and hung up on him, if you want to call in again real quickly, bro, I'll help you, but I don't know where you went. Ferguson or Pitts could be traded. Maybe JT and one of those guys. Maybe you trade JT for Breece Hall and something, bro. Maybe you do a 2-for-2. You upgrade Waddle or you upgrade potentially Kyler into something a little better. Or you're upgrading Dell or Waddle into something better by giving up JT for Hall and that player. I think 2-for-2 sometimes are overlooked in your type of scenario. And we got a $20 hauler from Sticky. Sticky, I'm sorry I didn't handle this first. To Mars for the $20 hauler. Yo, man, 10-man PPR 4-4. Love Stafford due to love injury. Okay. AJB Cup. Love it. Reed. Underrated. Bijan, Achan, love it. McBride, smash. Any moves? How about Rashad White and Reed? Rashad White and maybe, part of me wonders if you could take advantage of the Breece Hall situation too. If you traded Bijan for Hall and got something in return in a 2-for-1, or you make it a 2-for-2 and upgrade Rashad White into a Hill or something like that, or upgrade a Reed into a Hill or a Downs into a DK, or you do something creative like that in a 2-for-2, I would exploit that because I love Bijan, but I also love Hall, and I take advantage of Hall's low value. Past that, it really comes down to trading Rashad White if you can. Okay, so Nico owner 1-7, but stingy. Breece owner not selling low. Sorry, I just read that. I was trying to jump ahead. I'm going after Hill. I think if you can't do what we're suggesting, like Nico would be great as well. If you can't get that, I mean, Ramondre and Rashad White, Ramondre and Reed, Ramondre and whatever. Bijan, if you could even do, I don't even want to trade Bijan, but I'm just trying to think if there's a way to maybe, like Bijan for Neighbors and Walker, or Bijan for Neighbors and Kamara. Like those moves are all pretty fantastic. Tyreek Hill as well. Sticky, appreciate you dropping the 20 watt. Hopefully those ideas give you something to look at, but definitely think you could move something. I'm not saying to get rid of Bijan. I'm just saying that that's an open door if you were to go after Kamara to get that Hill, especially if it's a 2-for-2, to go after the Walker to get the Hill, to go after the Debo or the DK with the Kamara. Jake, you're live.
Hey, what up, Smitty?
What's up?
I'm just kind of paralyzed here. I got Kyron, HN, Chase, and then I got MHJ, Neighbors, Tank, Worthy. And I'm trying to just see if I target someone like Mike Evans or Nico, or if I just hang tight. So, sitting there with Kyron, HN, Chase as the backup, and the MHJ, Neighbors, Tank, Worthy. Starting 3 wide out.
MHJ, Tank, and Worthy?
And Neighbors.
Okay, so Neighbors, MHJ, Tank, and Worthy.
Yeah. And I got Keon too. But
Neighbors, MHJ, Tank, and Worthy. Who's your quarterback?
JD5.
And your tight end?
For chill on that. No tight end. Three wide outs, no tight end lead.
Okay. I mean, this is a good team, bro. Achan, Kyron, fantastic. Neighbors, MHJ, I like it. I don't think you have much to move here. There's no trade.
I got Chase backing up Kyron and HN.
Yeah, I think at the only different way that you could go is to trade one of these guys for the two players like we're describing. Like if you were to go get Hall and get Tyreek Hill, and you could trade one of these guys, and maybe you're giving up Chase Brown or Worthy, or Chase Brown and Worthy, or Dell. You say you have Dell. Dell maybe, but at the same time, would I rather just have Dell and Kyron? Yes. So I don't know that I like that move.
I I floated Tank earlier today to the Mike Evans owner, trying to maybe get Evans.
Yeah,
cheap. What do you
I
think
could get behind that, but I also could say I think Dell has the ability to keep doing what he's doing. You know, I've believed in him all year.
I know.
But
but like you said, Stroud looked like shit.
I'd probably take Evans if you could weather the storm on that. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Hey, Smitty, thanks for the content. You're killing it, man. Keep
All
it
right.
up, brother.
Thanks, Jake. Later. All right, let's go back over to this screen here. I think I'm caught up on the supers. Do I have anything over here? Do I have anything over here? I sometimes leave some super chats hanging around, so I think I'm caught up over there. Alfred is crazy to drop Stroud. Yeah, probably. I got Tua and Goff. I need to pick up a kicker. I'll probably wait, bro, until Nico comes back. Dropping Stroud now would be like equivalent of somebody dropping like Puka like a week before he's coming back. Like, that happened. People were doing that. It was weird. I have JD5, Breece, Kyren, Neighbors, Adams, Nico, MHJ, Otten. It's a good team. What moves would you recommend? Honestly, I like what you got here, bro. You got Nico, MHJ, and Neighbors. I almost look at those as your top three. And so that gives me the ability to say, let me move Adams and one of these tight ends. And both Otten and Pitts are going nuts. So let whatever person is trying to make a trade with you decide which one they want. So Adams and a tight end for just another big gun like Hill, Kamara. And you get that extra piece. And then now you've got like a rotation like no one has. Gives you more dilemmas that you might miss on, though, from week to week. But that's all I'm doing with that team. Your team's great. Only one way to help Puka now. We need some Puka injury Shiat talking. Oh, you need people. So I think Justin's saying that people should talk trash about Puka so that we can. Well, I mean, they did find that he's the Lionheart. I don't know if anybody knows that.
Breaking news, Carson Steele released from captivity after Lionheart sightings continued. Even while Steele was detained, they had the wrong man. Puka Nacua appears to be the Lionheart.
Through sheer science and intense aerodynamic study, the mullet of Puka Nacua has been reconstructed inside the Fantasy Football Show studios. This systematic balance of hair volume, mixed with both Quantum Atom fiber technology and L'Oreal shampoo and conditioner, creates a floating mechanism to which the world has never seen. Patent pending to see this prototype in action. See Puka on Sundays as he floats around the field.
Puka's mullet is absolutely unreal, and the aerodynamics involved are something that's on a level we've never seen before on this channel. And we've broken down some of the best science in the business around Jahmyr Gibbs and all that. One way to help him is to talk mad Shiat. So hopefully people start running their mouth about Puka Nacua. 4-4, 10 team Hurts, Kyren, Breece, DK, Debo, Terry, McLaurin, McBride, and benches Pickens, Tillman, Dobbins, White, and Hawkinson. Want to make a league-winning move. Kyren and Breece, I'm holding on to. Don't sell Breece low. Hurts, DK, you can't sell high. Debo, you can't sell high. Terry, you can't sell high. McBride, this is a good team. The only thing I would even be tempted to do, bro, would be to try and upgrade Scary Terry or DK using Pickens or Dobbins. It's Pickens, Tillman, Dobbins, White, and Hawkinson. Okay, so that's your bench. Pickens and McLaurin. Pickens and let's say DK. You're trying to get, using that combo, you're trying to get JJ, Jamar Chase. I don't even know if Tyreek Hill's probably a gamble worth taking if you want a league-winning move. There you go. Maybe try and get like a 2-for-2 going in that case. But I would give both wide receivers up for JJ, Jamar Chase, Lamb, or, one of those guys. That's pretty much it, bro. Otherwise, you could go after Neighbors using DK after Terry McLaurin. Using Terry McLaurin, Neighbors might be the cheapest top 5-6 potential wide receiver with some risk factor involved, though. There's certainly some risk factor. Smitty, you give out big candy bars for Halloween or minis. We weren't here for it, bro. We were out collecting candy. Do I look like the kind of guy that's giving candy or the kind of guy that gets the kids to go out and grab the candy? Someday, as I get, when we get older and the kids are out, empty nest will be sitting out there with the candy bowl. Okay. 12 team, 6-2, 1 flex. Prescott, Stafford, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Cooper, Nico, Mixon, Dowdle. Any moves? With this squad 6-2, you're obviously doing good things. I think you could upgrade the QB spot, but you could also let it ride a little bit. AJB, Garrett Wilson, Cooper, Nico, AJB, Garrett Wilson's fire. Mixon's fantastic. Tracy's kind of like underrated, like running back 2 for you. I'd almost say maybe I'm trying. I mean, you make a trade, you're gonna have to divide something up. To be honest with you, I don't know that there's a lot of movement here. Because what are you gonna trade? I mean, you could trade Garrett Wilson high, but like, how high can you really trade him? Probably not as high as you'd want. And if that's, I think that's Amari Cooper. If that's Cooper Kupp, you're absolutely fantastic. You don't need to make a move. But if this is Nico, AJB, Garrett Wilson, and Amari Cooper, I still love the wide receiver room. I don't think you can change anything. I'd probably just say you're holding tight for one more week. If Nico were to gain value, you're obviously waiting one more week, but like, I don't know when your trade deadline is, but that's maybe where this open door of trading 1 for 2 happens. I don't think AJB can get you there. I don't know. You could explore Garrett Wilson. Can you get like a Kamara and something significant? I don't think you can, but maybe you can explore that Garrett Wilson to sell high value. I don't think there's anything else. Mixon maybe for Breece Hall and something. That's what I would consider. As much as I love Mixon, I would consider Breece Hall and something for Mixon, but something significant. Even if it was a 2 for 2 exchange to get you into a Tyreek Hill and you give up Amari Cooper. You know what I'm saying? Like something along those lines. Other than that, I'm probably standing down, and I don't think I could trade Mixon unless I'm getting the world. Because Mixon's playing like a top 1 to 5 running back. You trade him for Hall and Hill, and you give up Amari Cooper and Mixon, I'm smashing the hell out of that trade. Like that kind of move I'm doing, bro. But that's it. That's it. All right. All right, guys. I appreciate all of you. I think I'm out of here for tonight. Eyes are still burning. I've gotten used to it, but they haven't really gotten better. My eyes are just burning. I don't even know how red they are. They're probably just absolutely. Oh. I'll see you all tomorrow. We'll be live multiple times tomorrow. Thank you all. Hit that thumb up button on the way out the door. We've got 529 people still in the building. We got a final super chat from Antonio. Antonio says, how do you convince a team ranked 10 out of 12 in a keeper dynasty league that they should trade for next year's value? I don't know. Some people just don't trade, Anthony. You can't convince anybody. How do you convince teams ranked? You just try and show them. The light, bro. You just got to talk to them about like, hey, I'll give you this pick right now. You can be ready for next year. Problem is, people that are 10, 11, 12 wins, it's almost like they just don't want to make any moves at all. And you don't even know if they're going to bail on the league. So I don't even know that there's a real good answer, because traditionally people that are in that position, they're just not active. Like they don't trade no matter what. It doesn't matter if they're winning. They just happen to be bad and they lose, but they wouldn't trade anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to tell them like, hey, go get that next year value. And if they're like truly not interested, then maybe they're going to quit the league. Picked up Mason and Garendo. Is there still value? Absolutely. Anybody that thinks that Mason or Garendo won't have heavy work in week 10 is pretty optimistic about Christian McCaffrey's situation. All right, I'll see you all later. Appreciate you. Tank Dell to the mother freaking moon. Garrett Wilson to the mother freaking moon. Come on, man. Pick up.
Please leave your message after the tone. Hey man, it's Devontae Adams again. Call me back, bro.
One Tank Dell special, please. Coming right up.
Thank you.
Yes.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special message from the Bruce's mother.
Get Bijan.
Bijan card has been revoked.
Not gonna lie, you kind of sus on Garrett Wilson and Adams coming in, though. What are you talking about? Like, bro, not only did, right when the live stream started before tonight's game, did we talk about the potential solid impact that we were going to see, I think, out of Garrett Wilson in the situation. But, like, what better way can I tell someone to go get him, to go grab Garrett Wilson in drafts than to have the revenge tour list and he's number 1? Like, what do you mean sus on Garrett Wilson? He was number 1 on the revenge tour list. Number 1. So, kind of a sus comment.
There are handfuls of Saturn, Mars, and Moon men, but only 8 can be supernovas. I give you the 8 best picks in fantasy football.
They are the 8 supernovas.
Give Hall some patience.
They are the 8.
Give Mahomes some patience.
The hateful 8. Supernovas. I'm looking at the 8 supernovas. The magnificent 8.
Liftoff of mission 41D, the first flight of the orbiter Discovery.
Get